Columbus, Georgia. Porter leaves behind 3 children with Coombs and an older son by singer Al B. Shore.
Agent 76, Rescue 82, cardiac arrest. Agent 76, you're going to get EMS 14. EMS 14, respond with Agent 76 on scene of the cardiac arrest.
We have breaking news to tell you about now. Model and actress Kim Porter, who shared children with Diddy Combs, has been found dead.
Yeah, Kim Porter was found this morning in bed, unresponsive, in the upstairs end of this Toluca Lake home. They say a doctor spoke with them who said she had been feeling ill for the last week.
We do not see any foul play at this point, so we'll just keep in contact with the doctor based upon his investigation.
And how do you rule that out so quickly when it comes to foul play?
No one's ruling out anything at this point. The cause of death is just undetermined because we don't know the cause of death. There's no obvious signs of death upon examining the decedent.
Was P. Diddy home at the time of her death, or just here when you got here?
I can't comment on that.
What about the children? They were here. We've seen them coming in and out of the house. They were at home as well?
I don't believe the children were home at the time.
Now to the latest legal drama involving mogul Sean Diddy Combs. A new lawsuit filed by a producer and videographer on Diddy's latest project.
This is the 5th lawsuit against Diddy. The first one is Cassie.
It was the same thing Kim was going, but somebody liked her, and that was Kim Porter.
Kim Porter's dad is slamming Diddy for his caught-on-tape attack of Cassie Ventura.
Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground.
Behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Jay Porter told Rolling Stone, "You can say I was disgusted with the video, and I wouldn't treat my enemy like that."
After the video came out of Diddy attacking Cassie, you got a lot of people that feel like Diddy probably had something to do with Kim Porter's death, and they want the police to reopen her case.
My man, I wish for the sake of Kim's family.
Do you know anything about her book? Because there's always been a rumor, she got, because she was exposing a lot of stuff in her book.
It was alleged that she did have a book, and she was talking about everything that she went through in the music business and Diddy.
One of the manuscripts with personal, private, handwritten documentation about what was said to her 3 months before she passed, what she witnessed, and the final straw that she couldn't take anymore. And it's not a case of domestic that goes far beyond that and that.
So someone that I've interviewed before who was part of law enforcement reached out to me and said, let me be clear, I don't believe it, but I got approached with this. And they said, yo, we got this guy who has Kim Porter's manuscripts before she died.
She wasn't writing a book. She was like loyal to the bone. She was not that kind of person. She wasn't writing a book about Puff. If she was going to write a book, she would have written a book 500 years ago and not dealt with his ass.
Kimberly Antoinette Porter was born on December 15, 1970 in Columbus, Georgia. She was the daughter of Jake and Sarah Porter. Kim was described as loving, kind, and beautiful inside and out. From a very early age, she showed a keen interest in the world of entertainment. According to Kim's childhood friend, music producer Dallas Austin, Kim wanted to get out of Columbus to be somebody. Dallas's mom was pregnant with him at the same time Kim's mother, Sarah, was pregnant with her. Dallas and Kim were like 2 peas in a pod up until she left Columbus. It didn't take long for her to be embraced in the field. Her journey into the limelight began in her teenage years when she started her career as a model. According to her aunt, Caroline Ross,
she went to modeling school here in Columbus, and then they would travel to Hilton Head, and she won quite a few contests there, and she won Model of the South there.
Kim started modeling for stores in Columbus, New York, and internationally. Therefore, once Kim graduated from Columbus High School in 1988, she moved to New York City to further her career. Very early in her career, she was wildly successful on the catwalk and in front of the camera. Kim represented brands like Tommy Hilfiger in the pages of Kim became the face of hair care products like Cream of Nature and Claro. Very early on, Kim was doing everything she was inspired to do as a little girl. Kim's beauty was a breath of fresh air while in New York. Not long, she started to appear in various music videos, including Heavy D.
Always being up, once in a while was understandable. Where did I go? Where did I go wrong? Was it my fault? I really dig your operation. Every time we on the phone, you got the sexy conversation. So now you hope to be the woman of my dream. Well, let's groove with the smooth operator. So smooth.
Kim also started working as a receptionist at Uptown Records. Then, in 1989, the young Kim met singer and producer Albert Joseph Brown III, also known as Al B. Sure. Al is a singer who reached success in the late 80s. His debut album, In Effect Mode, sold more than 3 million copies and maintained the #1 spot on Billboard R&B charts for 7 weeks. He expanded his music career as a writer and producer for other artists, including penning songs for Jodeci, Tevin Campbell, Faith Evans, and Usher. Al and Kim began dating shortly before his career took off. According to reports, Andre, head of Al's label, Uptown Records, introduced the two.
Andre Harrell actually introduced us. He actually came up to me and he was like, Kim, do you want to meet Al B. Sure? And I'm like, yeah. He was nice. He was very genuine and sweet and compassionate. And those are the things that I fell in love with, outside of his good looks.
She was also, very independent and kind of doing her own thing, modeling. And she was in and out of Italy. And so I would fly over to Italy and, support her.
2 years later, in 1991, the two welcomed a baby boy, Quincy Taylor Brown. Al wrote the song Forever My Lady, produced by Jodeci, as a tribute song to Kim during her pregnancy with their son, Quincy.
I started to write the song, Forever My Lady, and it was about Kimberly. The song was about Kim. So you had my baby, means so much to me.
And I remember they were working on the song and they couldn't come up with the lyrics. And Al looked at me and he was like, so you're having my baby. And I was like,
After having Quincy, Kim put her modeling career on hold, with motherhood as a main focus. She was supportive of Al's music career and by his side during his highest peak. However, Al became unfaithful during his relationship with her, which led to Kim ending the relationship when she discovered Al fathered a child with another woman. After leaving Al, she went back to work again. However, not long after stepping back onto the top of the scene, Kim fell in love again.
What's up, y'all? It's your friendly international superstar, queen, princess maker, Diddy. And I'm back. I know it's been a long time. Been shooting a movie, but I came back for a special occasion. Today, God is the greatest. He blessed me and my girlfriend Kim in the world with 2 beautiful baby girls.
Sean Love Combs worked as a talent director at Uptown Records before founding his record label Bad Boy Records in 1993. According to Combs, the first time he saw Kim was when she was in the studio with her ex-boyfriend, Al B. Sure. He said he admired everything about her and wished he had a girl like that in a 2006 article by Essence. Uptown's founder told Essence that Puff was in love with her from the first time he saw her. You could just tell by the way he looked at her. Although he was crushing on her, he said he did not make a move. At the time, Combs was still with his longtime girlfriend, Misa Hilton. Some reports claim Misa and Kim struck up a friendship as well. And during a 2017 appearance on the Premium Pete Show podcast, Misa shared that she and Diddy broke up shortly after her son Justin's arrival in December 1993. According to her, the music mogul wasn't ready to settle down as his career was just taking off.
Young youth. You know, we were very young. Our lives changed just like that, really quickly. And you know, he wanted to experience life in a different way. He's a young guy. He's popping. You know, he's becoming famous and rich. You know, really quickly. And you know, it just he wasn't ready to like settle down and get married. You know, and I think that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I think any woman would want that, especially after having a child, and we were so close and everything. So I think it was just like the lifestyle, and choices.
But not long after their split, Combs had already started to make his move on Kim. Combs said Kim kind of made him nervous. In an Essence magazine, he said, quote unquote, it took a few years, a chance meeting at a party, and several lengthy phone calls before the couple started dating in 1994. Quickly, they became inseparable. They went everywhere together. He was at her photo shoots, she was at events and hostings by him. It was nothing the two didn't do apart. Then, in 1997, Kim became pregnant with their son, Christian Combs. It should have been the happiest time for the both of them. Instead, that's when everything fell apart. According to Kim, a friend called her cell phone and said that it was rumored Combs had fallen into the arms of another woman named Jennifer Lopez. A few weeks after that call, that small rumor became her reality. Combs and Jennifer were featured in every tabloid in the country as the new it couple. Unlike other girlfriends of celebrities, she never tried to use her relationship with Combs as a shot at fame. She stayed low key, focusing on herself, her children, and her career. But when Combs took up for Lopez, Kim suddenly found herself the focus of everyone else's concern.
He pulled a lot of shit. Like when they were together, when she thought everything was amazing, next thing you know, the whole Jennifer Lopez thing comes out. And then the whole time he's with Kim, it's like from the outside, he was showing something different, got away from that, but she couldn't quite get away from, I mean, a lot, you know, to be honest with you, a lot of stuff after she transitioned, a lot of stuff came to light.
Her whole family was upset about the situation with Lopez, but Kim held her head up high and went about her business. The Lopez years went from 1998 to 2000, but even during that time, he would not stop contacting Kim. Kim told Essence in 2006 that Combs would call her 50 to 60 times a day. When news first broke out, Kim and Combs were actually living together, but as soon as she caught wind of the affair, Kim kicked him out and changed the locks. Although Combs moved into an hotel, he ignored Kim's wishes to be left alone. According to that Essence article, Kim said he continued to stop by the house whenever he pleased. She said, quote unquote, it was like my life was not my own. He was very intrusive. Friends at the time even whispered about how much Combs would try to take control of her, although they weren't together.
So I remember once we went shopping and it was like a YSL jacket or something. And I was like, oh yeah, you should get that. And she's like, no, I can't get that. And I was like, why? Just have Puff buy it for you. And she looks at me, she goes, it does not work like that. And I was like, what do you mean? And then I realized, like, in order to get anything out of him, she had to like do something in return, whether it was spend time with him or whatever. It's like he was what looked like generous from the outside, but in reality not.
This eventually led the couple in the Manhattan family courthouse to hash out visitation and child support. According to a source by TMZ, Kim got a lump sum of $150,000 plus another $20,000 a month until Christian turns 21. Combs also took out a $2 million life insurance policy on himself payable to Christian, the source said. The deal was a big win for Kim because it almost doubled what Combs was offering in the earlier settlements. It also excluded the confidentiality clause that could have cost Kim $50,000 anytime she spoke publicly about his private life. According to Combs, it all started because Kim, who had won him over with her poise, turned out to be too laid back. He told Essence, quote unquote, I'm used to an applause when I walk in the room. And she was just too cool. I would tell her, I guess I'll go be with someone else who will take care of me the way I want to be taken care of, who will be a little more aggressive. Jennifer was my perfect match in terms of energy. I thought I'll test the waters and hopefully Kim will see I'm serious and come running after me. Only Kim did not make a move. After their breakup, Kim focused on her children and entered into a new relationship with a music executive. However, that relationship didn't last for long, and it was alleged the two angered Combs. According to a May 2024 report by Rolling Stone, Combs allegedly broke a chair on Stewart's head while the two men and Kim were in Italy for L.A. Reid's wedding. However, their relationship took a turn for the better after Combs got into legal trouble with his ex-girlfriend and former protege. In 2001, Combs was tried on weapons and robbery charges stemming from a 1999 shooting incident in which 3 people were injured at a Manhattan nightclub. This led Kim to move back to Georgia in September 2001 to be with her family and raise her 2 young sons away from the chaos. She said during that time, that's when Combs came around. She thought the threat of him losing his freedom forced him to grow up and take responsibilities for his actions. She added that once she and the kids left New York, Combs was quote unquote forced to come to me to work things out. In the end, Kim finally let her guard down, and eventually Combs started to fight to win her back. And he did. While in Georgia, she got back to work and her career soon expanded from modeling to acting. She appeared in films and TV series such as The Brothers, Wicked Games, The Systems Within, Single Ladies, and Mama, I Want to Sing. Kim was also the inspiration behind Zoe Saldana's role in the 2002 film Drumline, created by her childhood friend Dallas Austin. Although Kim was gaining a lot of momentum at the time, she fell back into the arms of her ex. Despite their turbulent relationship in the 1990s, Kim and Combs got back together in 2003. However, according to people around them, their relationship was still rocky to the point that people allege things got physical. DJ Blatt sat down with Roger Bonds, who served as Combs security from 2003 through 2012. Bonds revealed in 2005, during a yacht trip, Combs allegedly broke Kim's nose. This was the same year Combs met singer Cassie, and 2 years later, they were romantically linked.
I can't tell you what the situation was over. I took them to where the yacht came and picked them up at. And Puff said, I don't need no security because it was just personal friends getting on the yacht. And then I picked them up when the yacht came back. And I seen Kim nose taped up. And it was whispers all around the office of everything that happened because his assistants were there and they was talking about it. He tried to say that she hit a table, but everybody in the office and everybody that was immediate around him knew exactly what happened. Kim was basically just quiet. You know what I'm saying? You could tell she was sad. It wasn't like somebody was supposed to look when they came off a vacation on a yacht for a couple of weeks and stuff like that. And she had some tape over her nose.
Bust her nose, man. You know, but it was all, insecurities. Anytime a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity.
Although Combs claimed Kim had hit a table, many people didn't believe him. Allegedly, this wasn't the first or last time something like this happened between the two.
It was one time when we went to Kim's house and Puff was banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door. The rumors were that she was inside with a guy and he was like, yo, we not leaving here. We not leaving here until I get in this house. And I was like, yo, it's 12 o'clock at night, Puff. What are we doing? He was like, yo, she's in the house. She's in the house. So about 1:30, 2 o'clock, I looked at him and said, yo, we're going to get locked up sitting outside because we was in Toluca Lake.
Yeah.
And he was going around to every window trying to get in and everything else. So the next day when they got together, they went into the room and I heard some tussling and stuff like that. I didn't actually see what was going on, see what was happening. And then it was another time that I explained earlier that we were at the Beverly Hills Hotel. What type of argument they got into, I don't know. But he said, yo, get out the car, Barnes. And I got out the car. And next thing I knew, I seen the car rumbling, shaking, this, that, and the other. So then I opened up the door and said, yo, we in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel. So then Kim got out the car, she fixed her hair, and she said, yeah, like I said, she said, I want to explain. Put your hands on me again, and you're going to have to explain this scratch that I'm about to put on your face.
Not long after the yacht incident, the two welcomed their twins, Delilah and Jesse, on December 21st, 2006.
The other day, y'all, I woke up in the morning and, you know, I was just looking at my girl. She pregnant right now, as y'all can see. I was just like staring at her, looking at how beautiful she is, you know. She's so pretty. And I was noticing, I was like, baby, you kind of big. Why are you so big? But not in a way that, you know, she big that would upset her. And I'm just saying, like, she looked kind of big for the amount of months she is. And I said, baby, I think you need to go to the doctor because you're kind of big. You look like you're ready to give birth right now. And so we went to the doctor. And guess what? Your boy Diddy is a champion. I am a champion. The doctor told me and Kim, and I'm telling you right now, no press announcement, just telling people in my family that I'm having twins. It is official. Yes, two more Combs.
And just after welcoming their twin girls, Kim left Combs for a final time in July 2007. Not only did the relationship allegedly become abusive, she found out while she was pregnant with twins that Combs was also expecting a daughter with his friend Sarah Chapman, a baby girl named Chance, who was born in July 2006. She opened up more about her decision to leave him in an interview, sharing that she found out Combs impregnated his friend from a girlfriend rather than him. While she was hurt at his betrayal, she said that she was more hurt that he didn't own up to it and tell her himself. She added that Combs eventually did tell her, but only after the twins were born. Kim said that her choice to leave Combs was simply because the relationship was not working out for her and she wasn't happy with him. She also debunked the physical abuse rumors in a 2007 OK Magazine interview. She said Combs had a temper, but he did not hit her.
So Sarah Chapman was also one of her best friends also. So she was really upset about that. And she said that she drew the line. Sarah is a very quiet, timid, around the way girl. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't after puff for the money or anything like that. And that was what really seemed that he liked. And he told me one day, he said, you know, Sarah, it's okay because I give her like $5,000 a month and she happy. So it wasn't about what he felt she deserved. It was about like, oh, I could just lowball her and she's okay with it.
Despite all the drama, Kim still tried to remain close friends over the years to have a healthy relationship for the sake of their kids. Kim went on to be one of the founders of 3 Brown Girls, a lifestyle planning company in Atlanta. She also helped start singer Janelle Monáe's career in the music industry after inviting her to an open mic night and introducing her to industry contacts. Monáe said that she was forever indebted to Kim for believing in her. For the next few years, her brand continued to grow while she strived as a mother, but her world was never the same after being intertwined with Combs. Kim tried to move on with her life after being heartbroken one too many times. In 2010, she tried to date again. According to reports, Kim dated Jackie Long from 2010 to 2012, but it was alleged her then boyfriend was threatened by Combs. Jackie and Kim have been seen all over town partying together and attending red carpets. According to Gossip, a source said Combs had allegedly made several phone calls to Jackie saying he will erase him off the face of the earth. Around that time, more and more people in Hollywood started spreading rumors about Combs' erratic behavior. It was also alleged that Combs would try to still win her back. Michael J. White spoke to Vlad in April 2024 about a time when he overheard Kim on the phone with Combs.
This was at a time where he was really back and forth really wanting, I guess I feel, to get back with her. But it was just chaos surrounding this dude.
With Kim Porter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd all be me, Kim, and my ex at the time, I don't want to mention her name, get her dragged into here. Like Kim would be on the phone with him a lot, and and it was kind of like, man, like he's very vulnerable at that time. But he's doing this, he's doing that, but then he still wants. It's kind of like, I want to be able to do everything I want to do, but still have you.
But that's not what Kim wanted. According to multiple sources, Kim no longer wanted the relationship. She only had the desire to prioritize herself and their family.
It's hard. It was really hard, but at the same time, they were very, very good friends. He relied on her. She used to come over like all the time on her way over the hill, because she lived in the valley and I lived on the hill. So she would stop by. And anytime she was over, whether it be an hour or 5 hours, like he was blowing up her phone the whole time. And it took a couple of years for me to understand the dynamic.
So they're not together though at this point.
They're
right?
not together, but it was almost like they were together, if that makes sense. Like they weren't together, but like every Christmas was her and the kids on a yacht, him, nobody else is allowed to come. Every Thanksgiving, she'd be cooking. So it was very family. Family was really, really important to her. And she really tried to keep it together. But I didn't like the dynamic of what I was seeing.
So did you talk to her about it?
Oh yeah, we talk about it all the time. See, Kim was very generally a private person, but we just became really fast friends. And we connected. She was also really deep, spiritual, had like a deep belief in God, and knew that she could trust me essentially. And she was like almost stuck with him. Like if she was seeing somebody and he got a whiff of that, somehow she wouldn't be seeing that person anymore. And it wasn't based on something she did. It was based on something he would do.
Like what? What do you mean by that? Like somehow call the person?
Yeah, she was seeing this basketball player for a while. And then the basketball player was seeing another singer. And the singer said, hey, let's be exclusive. And he said, no, I'm seeing someone else. And she said, who? And he said, Kim Porter. The singer went to Puff. And the next thing you know, the basketball player never calls again. But she helped him a lot. He would use her as like a sounding board, almost like his rock in a weird way. She loved him. But she basically said to me, he's changed. He's not the same person that he used to be.
It was also alleged that Kim had started writing a book that would reveal intimate details about her past. On June 3rd, 2023, a psychic medium mentioned that Kim had a manuscript in the works.
But she acts like she's trying to scare her ex. She is around him energetically quite a bit. One of the manuscripts with personal, private, handwritten documentation about what was said to her 3 months before she passed, what she witnessed, and the final straw that she couldn't take anymore. And it's not a case of domestic violence. It goes far beyond that and that. So it is domestic violence, but it's far, far beyond that. So she goes in a completely different scope. 5 months. The time is being marked. 5 months. So this is June, July, August, September, October, November. I'm going for November 15th. Or right around there. It's coming out. It will not be, you cannot keep this. She's literally, you cannot stop the truth.
And almost a year after that video, in an interview with DJ Academics on April 16, 2024, DJ Vlad said that he was allegedly approached by a former detective with a 50-page manuscript created by Kim Porter.
So someone that I've interviewed before who was part of law enforcement reached out to me and said, and before I say this, I don't believe this, okay? And I'll explain why. I don't want to be hit with defamation or whatever else, but this is what I got approached with. Let me be clear. I don't believe it, but I got approached with this. And they said, yo, we got this guy who has Kim Porter's manuscripts before she died. So she was writing a book allegedly, and this guy has
We've heard about allegations of
50
that
pages of this manuscript, right? So I had my assistant reach out and, speak to them on my behalf just to kind of, kick the tires, see what it's about. This is what they said in the manuscript. They said that this is what they claim are in the manuscript. And once again, I have no idea. I don't even believe this, but this is what they're saying. This is the kind of stuff that's floating around. They said that in this manuscript, that Kim Porter was claiming that her and Diddy would have these threesomes with men all the time, right? And what Diddy would do is he'd be hanging out with Kim and some dude, and he'd be like, "Yeah, my girl hella fine, right? I bet you can't make her come faster than me." And that would sort of be like the intro to that situation.
However, some people close have denied it.
He offered her $1 million once. Like, he could feel that she was disconnecting from him. And he called her crying, hysterical, "Please, I can't, don't, Kim, I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $1 million. And then when she said that to me, I was like, all right, I'm going to get you an attorney. Let's get an attorney. Let's get this signed up. And she was like, no. She never, she should have just gotten that money, but she never did. When I tell you she was so ride or die, there's rumors on the internet saying Kim Porter was writing a book. She wasn't writing a book. Vanessa, she was loyal to the bone. She was not that kind of person. She wasn't writing a book about Puff. If she was going to write a book, she would have written a book 500 years ago and not dealt with his ass. Kim was she was a lady. Like I said, she was old fashioned, Southern, cook breakfast in the morning, feed the kid, and I didn't like that he would almost booty call her. It's almost like she was his light side. Does that make sense? She was
Kim, you mean?
Yeah, she was the light. Right? Family, and she was keeping everything together and she was keeping it together, which is why he imploded, right? It all made sense. Kim was strong as hell, but he messed with her spirit. He messed with her heart. I remember once we were listening to this song by Ernestine Anderson, and it was called "Don't Touch Me." You could tell she had tears in her eyes. He was just stealing her light.
Kim did say herself she was in the process of writing a book named The Rock and Roll of Hip Hop with TV One in February 2012, but she didn't go into detail and it didn't seem like a tell-all. Some people believe the details in this alleged book may be the reason behind her mysterious and sudden death, because sadly, starting at the beginning of November 2018, Kim's health started to decline rapidly. Prior to Kim's health declining, her friend stated that they were supposed to take a trip together, but instead, Kim opted out to take a trip with her to go with Combs. According to her, things happened on that trip, and after that, Kim didn't come back the same.
She and I were supposed to go to Palm Springs. And then she calls me that day. She's like, I can't go. I'm like, why? She's like, Puff called. He wants me to go to the Turks and Caicos. And she's like, I gotta go. And I was like, okay. And she went. And I remember seeing a photo from one of his other, let's say, women in the same place, 2 days before. And I was just like,
wow.
And I was just so, ugh. But I didn't say anything. She sent me a couple message photos, et cetera, of her there. It looked beautiful. She came back and she was like, oh my God, it was the best trip ever. And everyone's saying how Puff is doing so well and he's in such a better place. Because it was all about what kind of place is Puff in? Is he in the light or is he in the dark? That was basically the constant, oh yeah, he's back to normal. He's back to himself. But what was weird is that something about her was kind of off. So he's good, but suddenly she's not.
The two were even supposed to attend Combs' birthday party, but Kim went on without her.
And we were supposed to go to the party together. And she had called me 3 times being you're coming, right? You're coming, right? Because at the time I was super busy. I was antisocial. And I'm like, I'm coming. And then the day of the party, she never called me. And I was like, that's weird. And then I called her and she's like, oh yeah, the girls came in town. And I was like, okay. So that's kind of weird. And then I remember seeing pictures of her at the party and I'm like, yo, this doesn't even look like her. Something's weird. And then through a few days later, she's really sick. And she's like, oh man, I have this crazy flu. And I called her. I'm like, what's up? And I remember she was like, I'm so sick. And that's how she sounded on the phone. And I was like, Kim, why do you sound like that?
Yeah.
Like, this was somebody that would be like, she was like, her voice had a melody. She'd be like, hey, hey, hey. And like, she sounded like this like guttural, weird sound. And I was like, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going on? And so then I remember I texted her, I don't know, the next day, and I'm like, Kim, are you okay? And she goes, Kimberly down, is what she wrote in the text message.
Yeah.
It's like weird. And then the next day she was gone.
On November 7, 2018, Kim complained of a sore throat, which progressed to a fever of 102 degrees on November 12, 2018. However, authorities claim she tested negative for influenza and strep and was given antibiotics, vitamins, and pain reliever in the final week of her life. But 2 days after her fever went up, Kim's fever had dropped back down to a typical 96 degrees. That night, she even got a deep tissue massage and watched movies with her family before retiring to bed at 11:30 p.m. The next day, Kim's goddaughter found her in bed at 8:30 a.m., but assumed she was asleep. It wasn't until 11:30 a.m. when housemates realized she wasn't moving and called 911. Once authorities got to the scene, Kim was removed from her home. Combs, along with friends like Corey Gamble, was on site the morning Kim died. Although Kim was found the night before and abruptly passed away, the Los Angeles police.
Well, LAPD will keep an open investigation as an undetermined death. We're not investigating it as a homicide by any means at this point. It's just undetermined until we get the ruling from the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office based upon their investigation.
Our news chopper saw Mr. Combs speaking with your detectives. Was that just sort of pro forma, just a matter of getting information from him, and was he cooperative at this time?
Mr. Combs was extremely cooperative and obviously very upset. We had basic questions for him for us to be able to conduct our investigation.
So he was willing, cooperative, and how would you describe his demeanor right now at this point?
He's very upset, and which is understandable. He's extremely cooperative with us, and our hearts go out to him and his family.
Kim did not have a known history of drug abuse or alcoholism, nor any signs of trauma. Kim had even traveled to Africa and was tested a month prior before falling ill. They stated she did not have any health complaints at the time she returned from her trip. All in all, Kim's cause of death was listed as deferred on her death certificate. And after an autopsy was completed, the LA Coroner's Office confirmed her death was a result of lobar pneumonia. Although authorities confirmed her death, many want her case to be looked at closely. Several of her friends have spoken out claiming that she may have been poisoned. I will continue to keep my thoughts and prayers with the friends and family of Kim Porter. I did see how her father just spoke out about seeing the Cassie video and how that made him devastated. Hopefully, they look back into her case, especially being that she was a healthy woman. It was very interesting seeing and using a psychic medium video in this. Some of the things that she said beforehand have been confirmed. And yes, some counties actually do use psychic mediums when it comes to cases, especially for missing. So you guys let me know about your thoughts and your opinions about her video on Kim Porter as well. Again, I'm not a conspiracy channel. You all let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below.